Right, just getting organized here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live today for open office hours. I will try to keep track of the chat. So if you're out there with some questions, let's see, maybe I can bring that chat up. Let me know in the replay or live where you're from. I am trying to multitask. So over here on TikTok, it's been a while since I've been live on TikTok. So welcome in, welcome in. I probably won't be able to pay too close of attention to the comments. So you are welcome, whatever platform you're on, to just reach out by private message with any questions or comments, and I will get back to you at a later date. Awesome. Welcome in. It is Nurse Tanya here from Awaken Wellness. Hello, hello. Let's get organized. Just going to give people a couple of minutes to find us. Make sure I click to go on Instagram. Looks like I did. Right. Nice to see you over here on TikTok. Now, Facebook is definitely my main place that I hang out and post content. I do try to keep the videos and reels coming on Facebook as much as I can. So it's been a couple weeks now that we had our Mondac Wellness Summit. It turned out so amazing. If you weren't there, I am so sorry we missed you. We do have replays available. That is on my website. So you go to awakenwellnessllc.com and then you can go over to the members tab and just register in those vaults. There's no charge and you can get the Mondac Wellness replay. We had myself plus 16 other local practitioners that presented in that summit. It was so much better than I even anticipated. I was the host, and each night they brought you information, they brought you education, and they brought you some really good offers. Those offers are evergreen. So, again, you can get that replay, you can get involved. Now, we definitely are. We're kind of talking about the Mondax. So that's Montana and North Dakota, that region right on the border. But all of the practitioners work virtually as well. So no matter where you are, you can get in on some of this goodness. What we're going to talk about today is kind of continuing the talk from the Mondac. It was the main theme. We didn't plan it that way. It just kind of happened. Everybody was really talking about nervous system dysregulation, or that's kind of code for stress, right? Everybody is stressed out and everybody deals with stress in different ways. People have stress for different reasons, whether it's physical stress from working out, whether it's stress at home from family life, financial stress, performance stress at work. Everything kind of tracks back to the nervous system. So again, welcome in. If you're catching this on the replay, stay as long as you like. Come in, come out. Let this information land exactly where you need it. Let it be what you personally need it to be.
If you're ready to take back control of your health, you're in the right place. Welcome to Awaken Wellness with me, Tanya Candy, registered nurse and health coach. Now, I'm not your typical nurse. I consider myself divorced from traditional healthcare. I broke free of the sick care system in 2019 when I realized that the root cause to my sickness, my autoimmune disease, and my chronic pain was me. If you're ready for truth, for clarity, for honesty in a tough, love, compassionate way, I'm the coach for you. Join me while we dig into
All right, now I'm ready. I'm unmuted. All right, I'm back. Let's talk. So we are continuing this conversation. Kind of the theme from the Mondack Wellness Summit was nervous system dysregulation or stress. I did a little information about the HPA axis. So HPA, so your hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, and kind of that whole everything gets discombobulated and things aren't talking to each other anymore when you've got that long-term chronic stress. So as people are kind of filtering in, let's just get myself grounded, get both feet on the floor, which is sometimes a challenge for me. I am little, I'm short, so short legs. I don't sit very easily or sit back. So both foot on the floor, chest up, open that chest, taking some deep breaths, learning to breathe deeper, breathe in through your nose, hold it at the top, breathing out, letting your shoulders drop. Those little things that we can do even when we're sitting at work, we're sitting at our desk. So again, this isn't about information. It's not about failing. It's just helping your body to actually receive what you already know, right? We talk about these things all of the time. Everybody knows, the whole it's wore out. Just calm down, take a deep breath. What I talk a lot about now, this maybe sounds goofy, but I call it a fake smoke break. So if you are a smoker, or if you've been a smoker, if you've ever worked with smokers, it seems like they're always on break, right? Which for the non-smokers can be annoying. That alone can up your stress level because the smokers are always out, they're always on break. But let's think about the wisdom in that break. Now, minus the cigarettes, don't message me about, I'm not trying to encourage anybody to smoke. I'm encouraging people to take a break. So, like nowadays, when you're sitting at your desk, and I do it too. This morning, I've got, way too many tabs open on my computer. This was my morning with my journal and my planner to kind of sit down. It's coming up the end of the month already. I already lost track of January and what is my plan for February. So I am trying to learn to be better about putting things on paper and having that plan to help regulate my nervous system. Back to the smoke break. Now, why would you take a smoke break or a fake smoke break? One, the fresh air is priceless. You smokers, they go outside, they right? So everybody deserves a break. When you're sitting at your desk and you're getting fidgety, or you think you're hungry, or you think you need a coffee refill, or you need a soda, or you need an energy drink, you pick up your phone for no good reason, you're checking your messages. Those are classic signs that your nervous system is overloaded, right? We want to call it multitasking. We think that, we're doing all these things at once and it's productivity, but it's not. It's making your nervous system, your body feel unsafe, right? And back to the smoker, you can tell when a smoker needs a cigarette, I mean, they'll say, I need a cigarette. Where a non smoker, we don't recognize that nervous system discombobulation. We don't recognize that we need that break. So instead of picking up your phone or going for coffee or going for that energy drink, just take a hike outside. Go outside, get some sunlight on your face, let your eyes connect with where the sun is in the sky. Breathe in, breathe out, just a few times. If you're like me, I'm here in Eastern Montana. It's cold. I'm not going to stay out there for long, but that little cold rush that also is going to help let my body feel something different besides this busyness on my computer and what's in front of me. So it can be a amazing tool. If you get in the habit of doing this first thing in the morning, so you get that sunlight, you see that color change in the sky, you go out in the afternoon when the sun is the highest, and then again in the evening, just those 3 times can really help your sleep. It can really help your set your circadian rhythm, especially if you work in an environment that's nothing but artificial light. Like right now, I've got a lot of light coming in the side window here, and I enjoy it so much. When I was looking for an office space, I looked at a space that was kind of in like a mall type area where they had multiple stores and whatnot, but it was on the inside where there was no window, like nothing but artificial light. And I'm like, I don't care if they offered me that space for free. I would not do it. I could not handle sitting in all day, the majority of my hours of the day, sitting in a room with just that fake artificial light and no sunlight. Like, no way. There's no way I could do it. Let me see about the comments before I go any further. Right. No comments. Everybody's so quiet. Now, I've been told over on TikTok that for some reason when I'm live, the comments don't work. So if that is the case, just message me. Just send me a message. Looks like I'm having some trouble over on Instagram. That happens. We're just going to keep plugging away, right? All right, let's talk about some of the real life, real problems that you might be having, that why your healing doesn't stick, right? Or if you're on a plateau, you have come so far, you're feeling way better, but what's left? What's going to take you that next mileage? What's going to get you to that next level? Most people tend to approach wellness like a checklist, like they do everything else. They take a bit here and a piece there, and they wonder why it's a cycle, like why they keep going around this mountain, why what you're doing is working for a while, but now it's not working again, and you feel like you're constantly starting over. Well, let me assure you, you're not broken. Your system just hasn't been worked with as a whole. Sometimes we think of it even like a gear or like a Swiss watch, right? Where you've got the nervous system in the center and you've got all the other systems going around. You can't just work on one gear at a time. So like if that one gear was, say, Whole30 food program, and you thought that was going to be the thing, that fixed you, but you weren't really paying attention to your other systems. You were still staying up too late. You were still drinking alcohol. You were still, well, on Whole30, you probably wouldn't have been, at least for 30 days. But if you see what I'm saying, we really want to think about your wellness as a whole system, your emotional health, your activity, like all of these things, even your finances are part of that, because if your finances are off, then it brings stress, or you're in a spirit of lack. So that can be a spiritual thing as well. So really, we want to think about the nervous system as being in the middle of that cog, the most important system we work on. Now, even saying that makes me feel a little hypocritical because that's still the system I struggle the most with. I tend to be more on the workaholic side, especially because I love my work. I love helping you. I love helping people. So I get that dopamine hit. Like my work brings me joy. It brings me that pleasure center, that dopamine. When I see somebody light up, when I see somebody have an aha moment, when somebody comes in and they've met some of their goals, they've lost weight, their anxiety is down. So for me, my work is so rewarding that it's super hard not to be a workaholic, even when it comes to social media, to posting. And earlier, when I first graduated high school, I wanted to be an art teacher. So I also enjoy that creative side of it, which keeps me on my phone or on Canva in the evening instead of resting, right? So preaching to the choir here about learning how to take a day of rest, to find your Sabbath, to truly let your nervous system feel safe. So sometimes our systems are working against us, right? Because my work brings me that pleasure, that dopamine, but my nervous system is still requiring me to rest, to be silent, to not do, just to be, which can be super hard for anybody. That dopamine keeps all those mental tabs open, just like you've got too many tabs open on your computer, you've got too many tabs open in your brain. All things allowing your nervous system to never truly feel safe, to never truly feel relaxed. So all things are possible. All things are possible when we really get intentional with things. And it's when you think about people in your life or people that you know that you may deemed lazy or laid back, like, really, that is a gift. And sometimes people like me, if you're like me, like attracts like, if you tend to be that go workaholic, that's where you feel good, those people can be somewhat annoying because they have something we don't have, right? So trying to learn from them, to try to just experience that. I myself, I wouldn't call it meditating. I don't even know if I would call it manifesting, because sometimes I don't like that the spiritual assumptions that go with those words, but trying to get that alone time and just being relaxed in the mind for a few minutes while you're sitting in front of your red light, or while you're sitting in front of your sauna, or just sitting in a quiet place, not doing anything else. I don't know, raise your hand. I tend to be okay, I'll listen to my favorite podcast while I'm on a walk. I'll listen to my favorite podcast while I'm in the sauna. Always trying to multitask, always trying to check things off of that to-do list. Is that you? Raise your hand if that's you. All those things that we do, that I do, keep my nervous system in a place where it does not feel relaxed. It does not feel safe. These things can, of course, it depends on your personality type. But for a lot of us, if you're anything like me, these are just really outside of what my normal is anyway. Regulation without identity work equals relapse. So that's something that I've really been working on this year in 2026, to kind of sit down with those goals. There's always that place for reassessment. Your 1 year goal, what are you hoping to accomplish this year? Your 5 year goal, your 10 year goal, right? And then your identity. Who am I now at 53? What does the 53-year-old version of me want out of life? And letting go of the 33-year-old version of me, letting go of the 23-year-old version of me, letting go of unmet goals, or places that I thought I would be now that I'm not. I know, even so, I personally have switched careers. I started out right out of high school thinking I would be an art teacher. I went to school for college for 1 year and decided to go to cosmetology school. So I went to cosmetology school. I really loved that too. That was a great, I was talented at it. I loved the client interaction, and I did that for 10 years. I had a huge identity shift. Late 20s, I guess. I started all this super young. I was 17 when I started college. So at my late 20s, I had a major identity shift. And that largely came from having that born again encounter, right, with Christ. And everything in my life changed at that point. I was in a young marriage, had two little kids, had a husband that I could not change, who had some bad habits that weren't going away. So that was a major identity shift. How many of you have had these identity shifts in kind of from decades to decades? We become different people. So I had that experience, huge uplifting born again experience. And I think it really boosted my confidence. I had always kind of been one of the slow kids in school. And so like going to college, like brain work, my brain just never tracked right. I was not ready for higher education until I had that major identity shift. And then I felt called to be a nurse. So I decided to relocate, take my two young kids, and go back to college. So I went back to college, did a 4 year degree, a bachelor's in nursing, and went to work. There's parts of being a nurse I never enjoyed. Really, I never was fully aligned with it, but it was a very stable job. The best job probably that I could have found for to raise two kids. So even all of these things go back to why, even at 53, it is super hard for me to get my nervous system out of that constant stress and fight and flight. My whole life, I've run on stress and probably caffeine. In those 20s, it was Diet Coke. I had the worst Diet Coke habit that compounded, led to a lot of my other health problems, and that's a different story. We're not on that now, but that that constant stress, that need to achieve, that motivation, it drives me. It drives me. I'm that kind of person that if I'm not learning something new, I just feel like I'm sitting still, and I don't like that, because my nervous system has not figured it out yet as an adult, has not figured out how to just relax, how to just be. So, anyway, that nursing career, that I'm still a nurse, I still keep my license, but it was probably about 7 years ago, I had another major identity shift. And that one was when I became awakened to wellness, which is my business name. That identity shift drove me forward into the place that I'm at now, into a more holistic, in a place where I help people bridge the allopathic medical world with the more holistic medical world, and to try to find a place where it's a good fit for them, right? As a coach, we do all those things. So throughout these identity shifts I've had, I'm fortunate. I don't feel like I've got any really big holes in my past, or big, like those little kid dreams that lead to having a chip on your shoulder, lead to you being in a place where you feel a lot of guilt or shame, or just bad about yourself. So let me know in the comments if you've had some of those big, like, identity shifts. It's kind of trendy right now to be talking about identity work, or to be talking about like timeline jumping. I'm not sure exactly what people mean by that when they talk about timeline jumping, but I think it's like when you've kind of been working on something or stuck, and it finally happens for you. You finally move forward into what those, especially when you were planning, when you had goals and you could see into the future. Like when I was in college, to be a nurse, you kind of have to start wearing that nursing hat. You have to start dressing for the part, or who you want to be, who you're moving towards, right? That is that identity shift. And if we don't keep moving forward and keep rediscovering ourselves, we can stay that past energy will drag you back there, will drag you back to that who you were. And sometimes, I know for me, when I needed to move forward identities, when I was in my late 20s, and who I was in that small town as a hairdresser, um, I felt like I needed to physically move to become that new identity, to move forward, to become somebody else. Sometimes when you're stuck in that, whether it's your family or your community, who just knows who you were, they just know that old identity, it keeps dragging you back there. It can be really hard to move forward into something new. So even like if you want your new identity to become a athlete, or to become a bodybuilder, or to become, a new, whether it's a new job or a new hobby, you start hanging out with people with that similar goal. You make new friends, you move forward. And if you don't do that, if your past will try to drag you back there, right? Another thing we could talk about is awareness, is about boundaries. No matter what you're doing, like let's say you set your sights on being a marathon runner. That was on your goal. On that is not my goal. I've never been a runner, but let's use that as an example. If for 2026 I decided I was going to start training, and I was going to set the date, and I was going to run a marathon by whatever it was, I would need to be, in order to keep my sanity and stay in balance, I would need to come up with a plan and set boundaries around that, right? Um, we can find a new habit, what maybe even it's a new love or a new relationship, and it's really easy to get your boundaries off, so you become all in on that one thing, and now all of a sudden the other areas of your life are out of balance, right? Like if you're training for this marathon, but you kind of forgot you had kids and a husband at home, and all you wanted to do was train and hang out with your new friends who are at the gym, or your new running friends. No matter what we're doing, whether like moving towards this new exciting thing is a good thing, or maybe it's a bad thing. Maybe this new exciting thing is, a drug we just tried, or whatever, and it encompasses us and we become all in. No matter what we are doing, we have to be aware of kind of time blocking our life to keep our nervous system safe, to keep all things in the air, juggling and in a healthy relationship with one or another, these other areas of our life. So again, blocking out one day of rest, as the Lord asked us to honor the Sabbath. That was because he knew we needed it. Our body needed to spend that time with him, body, soul, and rest. Just be still. So finding your day of rest and not thinking of it as a temporary solution. It should happen regularly. It should happen every week, once a week. Um, and you can do this while integrating things. Maybe that's your family time. Maybe that is, you could still do meal prep if that's relaxing to you, if it's not another stressor. So those things depend on too. What stresses one person out is another person's sanctity, is another person's relaxing, and that can change from season to season. So just think about healing only sticks when things are in balance. Back to that Swiss watch where your nervous system is in the middle, and all of the other, we could think about physically your body systems, or we can think about it as life systems, the job, the family, the hobbies. All of those still are revolving around your nervous system, and you've got to be intentional with your schedule, scheduling that relaxation. I'm still saying for the whole day. If you can do the fake smoke breaks a couple of minutes during every day, that's great. But that still doesn't replace a day of rest. Still has to be a full day of rest. And like for us, we farm and ranch. And so we think somehow a full day of rest usually includes sitting on a horse or moving your cows, or, a lot of us are jobs during the week, and ranching is kind of a hobby. So you're doing that on the weekend. But is that really resting, even though you enjoy it? Is it truly resting? So let's say you don't necessarily need another tool, right? You don't need to go out and buy something. You just need to find a system, find that time block, and make it a habit. Always having to go back to the beginning and restart. I know it's so easy. Those things that are unhealthy, boom, like that can become a habit. But the things that are moving you forward, that are helpful to your health, you have to force those habits most of the time to stick. I have got a group coaching program in which we talk about all these things, all the cogs in the wheel. We do a lot of mindset work. We do a lot of nervous system work. We do the food, right? We do the supplements. It's a real deep cellular detox, restoration, mitochondrial work, and parasites, and get cleaning up that drain, rebuilding that system from the ground up. Now, you'll hear me talk a lot about peptides. That's kind of new in my practice. It's kind of new in my world as a using them myself, doing the experimenting. I still truly believe that things like peptides, stem cells, all those things are going to work better for you if you've done the groundwork, if you've done the detox. Now, I do have people who come in off the street, from all different walks, from all different levels. Some don't have really any idea what a more natural approach is. Others know more than me, right? So everybody's at a different place. And we do find in this day and age, especially with the peptide solution, is sometimes starting with that, especially when you're talking about weight loss and inflammation. And people are so tired and so burnt out that they just need a quick win. They just need to be given back a little bit of control. So for one person, that can be a great step one, where another person, it maybe that's not the best step one. That's what I'm here for, is to help you, one, understand your options, and two, find the best jumping off place for you, considering you are all different. We are all different, and we all start and stop in a different place. We all circle around a different mountain. We all have different things that are our stumbling blocks or pain points. So as a coach, I'm here to help you sort those things out, especially if you're one, that DIY person. That's how I used to be. I used to be out there listening to all the things on TikTok, all the Instagram, and trying something new, trying everything that everyone was talking about, and just putting it all together and hoping it would work, right? So that's I'm coaching from my mistakes for sure, and the things that I've learned have worked for me, and then helping people to just think of it more like a jawbreaker or an onion, and peeling back those things one layer at a time, instead of trying to bust your jaw, cracking to the middle. We just want to do things in an order that is sustainable, in an order that respects your body instead of working against it. I also use bioenergetic testing, which is such a benefit. You come in, you fill out all the questionnaires. So you tell me what you think is going on. Then we do the bioenergetic testing. So your body gets to tell me what it would say is going on. And then we come up with a plan that meets in the middle, that works on that level. So you feel like you're getting a win, and your body on an energetic level feels like it's getting a win. So that is something that is the Awaken Wellness mission. Now, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm still taking courses and going deeper. And right now, for me, I'm seeking out peptides because that's kind of the level of health I'm at. I've done the deep work, I've done the detox. So I'm really ready to optimize. I'm really ready to move forward. So you tend to kind of attract clients who are at that place that you're at. So before I go, I want to invite you, one, to get on my email list. You can do that by going to awakenwellnessllc.com. If you're looking for like a little challenge, a little jump off start, the starting point that has got no financial obligations. You can go under resources. Let me look here. Go under resources, and I've got a 30-day transformation program. I've got a couple of little just printable challenges there. So come in wherever you feel like you're ready. Get on my website, snoop around, see what feels comfortable for you. And then get an appointment with me and let me make you uncomfortable. So in order to grow forward, you do need to push past your comfort zone. You need to do things that are a little hard, that are a little uncomfortable. Just like we talked about running a marathon, moving towards that goal, your body's going to get in physical pain as you work out, as you try to get it into shape. So the same is with any change that you make in your life. You're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to get into a place where you are a little uncomfortable. I will be in February, the 7th and 8th, and then again on the 21st and the 22nd. I will be having a couple of master classes. So we'll be talking about these things a little bit deeper. At the end of the class, we're going to keep it pretty small. So at the end of the class, you'll be able to come on camera and have some back and forth, have some Q&A time. And I'm not sure exactly what we're going to focus on yet in that class. It will be whole system for sure. And some things I think that you can implement pretty easily. So I'm still working on the class itself, but follow me on Facebook for more information. When I'm ready, there'll be a clickable link so you can sign up for the class. If you go ahead and get on my website and get on my email list, when those are ready to go, I'll be sending them out. So there's that. A couple other things that if you haven't done yet, make sure that you do. I couldn't bring it all over here, but we have got a raffle going on. So that is on my website as well. There's a link for it right on the home page. I am raffling off. There's only 50 tickets for each thing. I need to get 40 sold in order for this thing to happen, but this is one of the items. So it's a like anti-wrinkle healing mask that helps really get into your tissues and restore that collagen, restore that nice youthful properties. It's got different colors. Yeah, look at that. It retails for around $600. I think the tickets for that are 16, something like that. You got to get on my website and look. So we have that. Then I've got a big red light panel. It's the value of that is close to $1,000. I think that's an $18 ticket, only selling 50 tickets of each. The other thing, it's not going to show up very good on camera. This is a frequency watch by Nikki. So kind of similar to Rife. There is no EMF to it. It looks like this. So once you set it up, there's a code, and then that's going to set up your frequencies. I usually use mine on the hormone setting. I recently got another vagus nerve one, and I do use that quite a bit as well. There's a sleep one, there's an allergy one, there's quite a few different settings. When it's on, there's just a little red light on the back of it. And you don't feel it, you don't hear it. It's like similar to a Rife setup. And with this watch, it's about a $600 value, and you can upgrade. So once you get it, what this Nikki is really known for is their Lyme frequencies. So you can upgrade. If you win this watch, you can upgrade and you can get that Lyme programming. The success stories are piling up. people with Lyme are getting so much relief. So, if you've got someone who is suffering from something like Lyme or has got bad arthritis or any of those like really terrain type issues, go on their website and see those testimonies. So it's NIKKI. If you Google that, I feel like there's something else at the end of their website. Nikki, I can't think of it right now. You can buy these on my website. So awakenwellnessllc.com. If you're local, you can come in the store and you can get the tickets there too. So that is going to be till the end of the month. I have to cap it at some point. If we don't get the enough tickets sold, what I'll do is like a lottery drawing. Everybody who bought a ticket, I'll pick one winner, and you'll get half of the compounded. You'll get half of the cash. If we don't get, I need 40 for sure sold of each item in order to do the drawing, and there's only 50 of each being sold. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you get your tickets. It'll be well worth it if you win. These are big items. They're high dollar items. So that is it for my live today, talking about nervous system. If you didn't get a chance to get on our Mondack Wellness Summit, we did all week. It was a week long, and we had myself plus 16 presenters. You can still get all that information free. That's on my website. Go to the members area. It's way off to the right, and it's a free account, but you do have to sign in, and then you'll see that Mondack Wellness Summit, and all of the live feeds are there. We had 2 people that need to do replays, so we're still working on that. We just had some sketchy connections that one night. So all those summit replays are there. They should be evergreen as long as I have enough data or storage on my website. I have been playing them live here on YouTube. So probably once a week. I did on Monday night. I think it was Monday. So every Monday evening, I'm going to replay one of those nights on Facebook. So you can be looking for that. Oh, and another exciting thing that we're going to do on Facebook, I'm thinking it's going to be Friday nights, maybe Wednesday nights. I've got a handful of practitioners who are with me in this peptide space, and we're going to start doing some live educational series. I know one of the first ones I want to do is kind of real life with maybe if you've been on a GLP-1 and things didn't go the best for you, I want to do some real life troubleshooting on the ins and outs and kind of what I've learned with my clients that are using peptides, and when it doesn't work and why. There's usually a why to everything, right? So if you tried a GLP-1 and you've got the bad side effects, for one, usually, especially if it was from the medical allopathic, more than likely you were just overdosed. But if it was other things like you were just always nauseous or you always had heartburn or this or that, we will help you troubleshoot why maybe that didn't work out for you. And not that you have to be using one, not that anybody does, but we just know that there's always a why to these things. So be looking forward to that. Follow me. Awaken Wellness is my business page on Facebook, and just Nurse Tanya, I think RN is how my personal page is. My personal page, I am really using more for the peptide space. I am building with that. It is an affiliate marketing. I am looking for ambitious professionals. Well, you don't have to be professional. You can be a stay-at-home mom. You don't have to be a medical professional, but I am looking for people who have got some hustle. It is a side hustle. It's not they call it a side hustle for a reason. You do have to do the work, but the commission is very lucrative, very lucrative. And it's something that you can feel good about. It's helping people. It's something that people want. So I am accepting teammates. Now I'm over burnout, right? So you have to be ready. You have to be ready to work, but there is definitely reward. And you can get a hold of me in my DMs. I'll invite you to one of our Zooms so you can hear more, right? No pressure. You just have to show up and listen. That's all. Thank you so much for showing up live or on the replay. Let me know you're here. As a small time, I'm not a full-time content creator. I'm not a big influencer. So every like, every share absolutely matters. These days, that's how you can support a small business. And especially if we're on the Wellness Summit, get on those people's and mine, get on our social media, get on Google, leave a 5-star Google review, leave a review on their Facebook page. That is the way you tip a small business without having to spend any dollars. It takes like 3 minutes. In the future, be looking for a podcast from me and the Mondac practitioners. That is a goal of mine. So that's another way when we get that going. Any of that, just like it and share it and help us get the word out. That's a perfect way to tip a small business in this day and age. Thank you so much.